Hi guys, I'm here to talk to you about tautology. A lot of times tautology is unintentionally used in writing or even in everyday speech, and the definition is an unnecessary or unessential repetition of meaning using different or dissimilar words that effectively say the same thing twice. And this definition is actually an example of tautology because I said unnecessary repetition of meaning and say the same thing twice, which generally just mean the same thing. A lot of times tautology will draw the reader's focus to what the author is trying to get across. Here's some of my own examples. In my opinion, I think that he should not have done that. Saying something is in your opinion, it is understood that this is what you're thinking. And also vice versa, when you say you think something, we know that it is in your opinion. And the second one is the drink came with frozen ice, and ice is obviously frozen, so adding that extra frozen in there is just redundant and unnecessary, but it does draw your attention to that focus. Here are some examples from APLAC this year, and from the essay Graduation. Oh, black, known and unknown poets, how often have your auction pains sustained us? And saying known and unknown poets, it implies all poets, so this phrase is kind of useless to the sentence. And then from the Glass Castle, I couldn't get over the way kids tossed out all this perfectly good food. And perfect and good are redundant of each other because they have the same general meaning, but again, it's kind of pulling your focus to how good the food is that they're throwing out. Here is a modern example where tautology is very obvious. Willy Wonka says, the snozberries taste like snozberries. And he's making a repetitive, redundant statement because obviously the snozberries will taste like what they are, which are snozberries. But he's also able to make an emphasis by using tautology. Another modern example is George H.W. Bush's campaign speech in 1988. And he says, it's no exaggeration to say the undecided could go one way or another. And obviously, if one thing goes one way, it could also go another way. So this whole statement seems to have no real value to it because it's stating something that is just obvious. But this quote is actually considered pretty inspirational because of how he uses his tautology to talk about the undecided and which way it could go. Here are some real-world examples. And ATM stands for automated teller machine, so you're saying machine twice. And UPS stands for universal price code, so you're saying code twice because that's just generally how you say it without even realizing it. And then in this sign over here it says, if it's in stock, we have it. And once again, in stock means that you have access to something that you need, so clearly the store will have it. And this advertisement just seems really redundant and really want you to go there. Here in Obama's sign, we see beliefs we can believe in. And there are many other words that could have been used, like saying values, which would still have a slight tautology to it. But saying beliefs is just majorly redundant and kind of really obvious. And then here at the bottom we see please prepay in advance. And here we have telling someone to prepay in advance means the exact same thing in just different words, so it's really unnecessary. So there you have it. Tautology is the unnecessary repetition of meaning using different words that basically just say the same thing over and over again. So yeah.